Warning, some viewers may be too lame to enjoy the following information.
So the 2010s just came to a close, and with that ends a decade that brought us pop culture phenomenons, such as endless robocalls, a resurgence of flat earthers, Dummy Boy by Tekashi 6ix9ine, eating Tide Pods, a lackluster Star Wars trilogy, and the first presidential impeachment of the 21st century. Now who gives a f***? This is a roller coaster channel. Some of the best roller coasters ever opened during the 2010s. In this video, we are going to take a look at 10 of my favorite roller coasters that I rode, which opened between the years 2010 and 2019.
Random disclaimer.
Please note that the roller coasters in this video are not ranked. This is just a list of 10 of my favorites from the 2010s. But I will be releasing a top 25 soon, which will rank my favorite coasters overall.
Oh, and these coasters are only found in the United States. Now let's get this coaster out of the way because you all know I'm going to talk about it. Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point opened towards the end of the decade in the year 2018 at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. The ride is a Rocky Mountain construction, or RMC, renovation of the original Mean Streak wooden roller coaster, which was undeniably one of the worst coasters of all time. Taking a look at RMC, they were arguably the best manufacturer during the 2010s, and Steel Vengeance is almost too good to be true. RMC removed the slow turns, awkward pacing, janky wooden track, and unexciting elements of Mean Streak, and replaced that with actual enjoyable ride elements. They did keep some of the trim breaks Mean Streak featured, which is a great way to remember the past, and keeps Mean Streak's spirit alive. The trims on Steel Vengeance helped give birth to this endless trim break meme I have not stopped using in any of my videos. Thanks a lot. But overall, Steel Vengeance is an absolute airtime machine. Now it does feel a bit repetitive and almost too long, but a coaster like this is not built often, and this is an absolute gem in the coaster world. RMC transformed several wooden roller coasters into fancy steel hybrid roller coasters with wacky, creative elements and endless pops of airtime. Now during the 2000s, before RMC built their own roller coasters, another manufacturer used to absolutely dominate. Hands down, Intamin amusement rides owned the 2000s with great rides like Superman Ride of Steel, El Toro, Top Thrill Dragster, or Maverick, and many more. Now even though Intamin wasn't necessarily the dominant company during the 2010s, they still introduced a few hits. Intamin opened Sky Rush at Hershey Park in 2012, which is arguably one of the most intense roller coasters ever, hence why it's on this list. Intamin are not afraid to take on tough challenges, and that shows with Sky Rush. The company crammed a large 200-foot roller coaster into a tiny piece of land. Sky Rush features one of the best first drops of all time, absolute ridiculous moments of ejector airtime, and some of the best ride pacing in the game. Now it certainly is not the most comfortable coaster, as its lap bars tighten throughout the ride and often crush riders' thighs, hence why the ride is nicknamed Thigh Crush. Regardless of that, if you are someone who prefers an intense roller coaster, then you need to ride this one. I think you will be impressed, unless you are Time Thrills. Next brings an Intimidator 305, another roller coaster that is arguably one of the most intense coasters ever. Intimidator opened in 2010 at King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. The ride features out-of-this-world pacing, low-to-the-ground maneuvers that practically break your neck, in a good way, and some great moments of airtime, and this famous turn that guarantees a gray out every time. It's without a doubt the most intense Giga roller coaster. Whether it's the best Giga coaster or not, that's up for debate. Now, contrary to belief, Intamin did build lots of roller coasters that weren't stupidly intense during the 2010s. One of them is Hagrids Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, an interactive motorbike-style roller coaster that opened in 2019 at Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida. In my opinion, this roller coaster is an absolute hit and is the best ride at the Universal Orlando Resort. It combines a mildly thrilling roller coaster with interactive story elements and amazing theming all into one package. Plus the ride is very long enough that you feel like that 3-hour wait was worth it. Now check out my full review of Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure if you'd like to learn more. Now RMC dominated the 2010s, Intamin dominated the 2000s, and another manufacturer by the name of Bolliger & Mabillard, or B&M, dominated the 1990s. B&M introduced the world to smooth roller coasters that were designed using computers instead of sticks and stones. You hear that, Ron Toomer? They also built some really intense rides back then. Their inverted roller coaster model was very popular during the 90s, and I think many of them are still some of the best coasters ever built. Well, the company built much less intense roller coasters during the 2000s, and their inverted line of roller coasters kind of fell off in my opinion. Well, in 2014, that changed when Banshee opened at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. Banshee is the longest B&M inverted roller coaster to date. What's cool about this ride is that it brings back the intensity of their older inverted roller coasters, just in a different way. Gone are the fast whips and transitions of their inverted roller coasters from the 90s, but Banshee brings back the high positive G-forces that were lacking from B&M coasters during the 2000s. Every valley of the ride feels compact and bone-crushing. The ride is also built in a large hill, which the ride absolutely uses to its advantage. This means that every single element on the ride is massive, so it feels like the ride never slows down. Speaking of rides that don't slow down, another hit roller coaster built by B&M during the 2010s is Fury 325, a 325-foot tall giga coaster themed to bees. The ride is located at Carowinds near Charlotte, North Carolina, and is one of the most fun coasters on the planet. First of all, it's the tallest roller coaster with a lift hill. Its first drop feels endless, and the pacing of the ride is absolutely flawless. Even this drawn-out helix is really fun. It's a smooth airtime machine, and I'd call this ride perfect. No wonder it's a favorite amongst many coaster enthusiasts. During the 2010s, there were certainly more steel coasters built than wooden, but a few good wooden roller coasters were still introduced. Gold Striker, California's Great America, and Santa Clara, California comes to mind. This woody opened in 2013 and was built by Great Coasters International, who introduced many other awesome wooden coasters during the decade, like Mystic Timbers at Kings Island, or their absolutely monstrous looking wooden roller coasters in China, which I hope to one day ride. Gold Striker is fast, ferocious, whippy, and an airtime machine. It is some of the best pacing I've ever experienced on a roller coaster, and the whole thing is just non-stop. I thought Mystic Timbers was really good, and then I rode Gold Striker and was completely blown away. Plus, Gold Striker isn't as smooth as Mystic, so it feels much more edgy, and I love that with wooden roller coasters. I can't wait to see what GCI does in 2020. I'll have to take a ride on Texas Stingray, which opens soon at SeaWorld San Antonio. Time to piss off the traditionalists. Another one of my favorite wooden roller coasters of the last decade is Outlaw Run, located at Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. Outlaw Run is the first ground-up wooden roller coaster built by Rocky Mountain Construction. The ride uses RMC's topper track, which provides a rather smooth ride for a wooden coaster, but it's not too smooth thanks to the steel wheels used on this ride. This is another ferocious coaster with an amazing first drop, amazing elements, amazing pacing, and extremely strong pops of ejector airtime. It's easily the best coaster at Silver Dollar City, one of my favorite roller coasters period. Some may argue that it's not really a wooden coaster, and it's definitely not a traditional wooden coaster, but either way, this ride slaps. The ride has been thrilling millions of people since 2013, and when you ride it, be sure to try it out at night. Night ride on this thing is great. You will see why. RMC also built another ground-up wooden roller coaster by the name of Lightning Rod, located at Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. This is the world's only launching wooden roller coaster and has had one of the rockiest starts ever for a new coaster, but it seems to run more reliably now. The ride utilizes its terrain to its full advantage and is one of the best terrain coasters that exists. The airtime is ridiculously powerful, and that quad down is one of the best roller coaster elements of all time. Plus, I love the first wave turn. The amount of sideways airtime is just ridiculous. This is the best rod on the planet. The RMC train continues with Iron Rattler, the company's second hybrid conversion. RMC transformed the old, janky Rattler wooden roller coaster and transformed it into Iron Rattler for the 2013 season. The ride is located at Six Flags Fiesta Texas near San Antonio, that park that never seems to have all its rides running, and feels like it was built in a video game. The ride is built in a quarry wall and is constantly diving off that cliff or climbing back up it, which to me makes the ride feel like nothing else I've ever ridden. Not to mention, this ride features my favorite first drop in an RMC. It's steep and features strong lateral airtime, which then leads into an S-bend coming out of the drop. It's not often I ride a roller coaster that absolutely blows my mind, but this is one of them. Now, if you can count, you may have noticed that I've already mentioned 10 roller coasters. But this is my video, and I can do whatever I want. Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California should be mentioned as well. This RMC dueling hybrid coaster is one of the best out there. For one, you don't just ride this coaster once, you ride it twice. Riders complete the blue track first and then head straight into the green track. And if you're lucky, you'll get to duel the other track at least once, which makes this ride a lot better. Every track is quite powerful, with each one offering slightly different elements with insane moments of ejector airtime, hang time, and interaction with the other track. Plus 2 tracks means 2 first drops. So that's a wrap on my favorite coasters from the last decade. Hopefully I haven't started a Chernobyl hellfire in the comments. Comment down below what your favorites are from the last decade. My top 25 roller coasters video will be dropping soon, or eventually. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, guys.